Godot engine. Develop your 2D and 3D games. Okay, I have been using Unity all my life and I have never tried any other game engine before. So when I heard about an open source node-based no runtime fees game engine, I decided to try it. It downloaded a zip folder. Let's unzip it. Now which one is the setup file? This must be it. Wait, where is the installation wizard? Are you telling me I don't have to install anything? Wow, I am not used to this kind of witchcraft. Create new project. I think that's a good name. Create and we are in. To test Godot, we will be recreating this game and see how easy or painfully confusing it is to make it in a game engine I have never touched before. And yes, it is the same game that every self-taught game developer creates as their first project after watching one Raki's video. Okay, first impressions. I recognize a few things that look familiar from Unity. This looks like the scene view where you build the game. This must be the inspector because it says it's the inspector. And this here is the hierarchy. No idea why it says scene. I think I need to click here to start a 3D project. Let's try running the game and see what happens. No main scene defined. Add current scene. And we have a gray screen. Cool. Let's look at a few tutorials online about Godot so we know what we are doing. Okay, from the tutorials, I figured out that the building blocks in Godot are called nodes, like this one right here. And these nodes can be combined to make complex behaviors. Alright, let's try creating a cube. Right-clicking the main node allows me to create a child node. Do we have cube? No. How about mesh? There is a node called mesh instance 3D. Click, the node shows up in the hierarchy, but we don't have a cube in our scene. Here in the inspector, it shows mesh as empty. Oh, we have a bunch of shapes to select from. Box mesh, and we have a cube. Perfect. I can scale it using gizmos. But what if I want to precisely scale the cube? Is there a transform component? Yes, there is. Uncheck uniform scaling, set Z to 1000, X to 50, and that's our ground. Let's make another cube the same way we made the ground and rename this node to player so we don't mix things up. I want to change the color of the cube to red. In Unity, we do this by creating a new material and applying it to the cube. But how can I do the same here? This geometry section might help. New standard material. Perfect. Oh, the white cube turned more white. Does clicking here let me change the color? No. Wait, we have albedo here. Oh, we got ourselves a red player. Next, I want to add physics. Let's see if we have a rigid body node. Yep, a warning. This node has no shape. Consider adding a collision shape 3D. Collision shape 3D. Create. Now the collision shape has a warning. Collision shape 3D only serves to provide a collision shape to a collision object 3D derived node. Please only use it as a child. What the hell does that mean? I guess it wants me to make the collision node a child of rigid body. And the warnings are gone. I also added a sun and environment from here. I saw this before in the tutorial and I'm not sure why they are not included by default when creating the scene. Anyways, let's press play and nothing. That's because we don't have a camera. Camera. Create. Still not falling. Time to pull out Google. Turns out we have been doing it all wrong. The rigid body is supposed to be the parent node and the rest are its children. Fixed. And finally we have gravity. We don't want the player to fall through the ground, so we will add a static node to the ground. Press play. Great, it works. This feels like learning game dev all over again. Speaking of learning, do you know about the best way of learning? It's by using Brilliant. That's right, Brilliant is an amazing platform that offers tons of lessons on maths, science, programming, data analysis, and AI. What I really like is that the lessons are interactive and teaches you stuff by making you do it. This way, you'll be learning more efficiently than watching some boring lecture videos. I have been using Brilliant to sharpen my Python skills, and it's crazy how fun it is. Their Python course walks you through basic fundamentals such as variables, loops, and conditions. But instead of spoon-feeding you info, they throw you problems that force you to think like a programmer. And even if you already know the basics, it's a great way to stay sharp and keep your brain in problem-solving mode. The best part is that you can learn a little every day on the go on their mobile app. So to try everything Brilliant has to offer, you can visit my link brilliant.org/sapien and get 20% off on your annual subscription. Or scan the QR code on screen or hit the link in the description. Now let's try moving the player. So Godot uses GDScript, which is similar to Python. And thanks to Brilliant, I already got the basics down. So it shouldn't be that difficult to pick up. Let's create a new script. Right click. There it is. Player movement fields, right? Boink. Can I just drag and drop it here? Yes, I can. Let's open the script tab. Okay, we are in extends node. Google our Lord and Savior. I read some Godot documentation, but it was very confusing compared to Unity, and I had to dig really deep to find any helpful Godot forums. After looking at a few examples, I came up with this code. _process is like Unity's update function, and it runs every frame. So we are adding speed to the Z position of the cube, and this should make the cube move in the Z axis. Oh, it's moving. I also found out that putting at export before a variable exposes it in the inspector. Neat. Change speed to 5. Perfect. Now let's make the camera the child of the player so it can follow it. The cube is not falling down. It must be because we are updating the position of the player. Instead, let's try changing velocity. Velocity not declared in the current scope. Okay, I searched online and turns out it takes linear underscore velocity. Still giving the same error. Why? Could it be that it needs rigid body here? I am a genius. And there you go, the cube falls down to the ground. Now let's handle left and right movement using inputs. Here is an example on how to move a cube using arrow keys. If input dot is underscore action underscore pressed up. Okay, I think I have a basic idea of what I have to do. We first declare a direction variable and set it to vector 3.0. Then we say if the right key is pressed, we set the variable as 1. And if the left key is pressed, set it to -1. And then finally, we set the x velocity of the cube by multiplying the speed to the input direction. And it all should work. And it does. The controls are inverted, but it works. Let's create another cube. This one is gonna be an obstacle and change the color to blue. Now I want to make this blue cube a prefab. How do we make prefabs in Godot? Can I just drag and drop it there? Yes, I can. And then bring this here. Seems like this doesn't work. Does right clicking allow me to make a prefab? Doesn't seem like it. Time for another Google deep dive. In Godot, scenes can instantiate other scenes, which is similar to prefabs. Basically, scenes are prefabs. Now I know why it says scene here. So I create a new scene for the obstacle, create a blue cube, save it, then add it to the main scene. Now if I change something in the obstacle scene and save it, it updates in the main scene as well. Brilliant. Okay, we will need to duplicate this object multiple times. But how do I duplicate an object? Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V seems to make it a child. That's not what we want. How about Ctrl-D? Just like in Unity. Before we make a level, let's scale down the platform. Since it's too big right now and adjust the size of the obstacle, now let's quickly make a simple level. Time to playtest a game. Oh, we need to freeze the rotation of a player so it doesn't go all dizzy. In Unity, we can do this by freezing rotation under rigid body. Is there an equivalent to that in Godot? Ooh, axis lock. This must be it. Linear lock must be to lock the position of the object and angular for the rotation. Let's lock in all axes and play. Perfect. I want to add a score counter. Should we ask ChatGPT on how to make UI? Under the main node, we need a canvas layer node. Let's add that. And under the canvas layer, we add label. Oh look, the label node switched the scene view from 3D to 2D. 3D, 2D, 3D, 2D, 3D, 2D. So here in the inspector, we can type whatever text we want. Cool. And these are the anchor points to center the text. Let's bring down the text a bit. I can create new label settings to modify our text. This allows me to change the font, size, and color of the text. Let's set the text to 0 and play the game to see if it is visible, as expected. Now, we want the UI to show the distance covered by the player from the start position. You can get the position of the player using a signal. What is a signal? A signal is like a messaging system between nodes. Oh, it's like event system in Unity. So ChatGPT gave me 3 scripts. This script, which is attached to the player, emits a signal, broadcasting the player's position. Then we have the UI script, which subscribes to this signal. Speaking of subscribed, have you subscribed yet? Hit that button right now. It's free, just like Godot. Okay, where were we? Yeah, signals. The UI script gets the signal and updates the text accordingly. And finally, we have the main script, which establishes a connection between the player and the UI. This script will go on the main node. The whole working of signals sounds really confusing to me. I guess that's because it's my first time using it. Okay, let's press play to test it, and it works. How about we typecast a variable so it doesn't show up in decimals? Finally, I want to build the game as an exe file so that we can run the game without the editor. How to build a game in Godot? Go to editor, manage export template and download the necessary template. Okay, let's do that. After that, we go to project, export and select our platform, which is Windows. The name is going to be same as the project name. Perfect. And finally, save it on my desktop and export. Completed with warnings. Don't care about that. We have the game on our desktop. Let's run it. And there you have it. My first game in Godot. Honestly, the engine has a lot going for it and it runs like butter. I still think the documentation is written by aliens. But once you get past that, it starts to click. Will I test Unity for Godot? Probably not. At least not yet. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on it.